Great news for the LA Kings heading into a 4-game homestand. 6 Kings prospects are taking part in the World Junior Championships. One of the prospects is one of the best players of the tournament so far. It's a bit of a surprise. And we'll have a rain report as well on this edition of Locked On LA Kings.
You are Locked On Kings, your daily podcast on the Los Angeles Kings. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, Kings fans, welcome to Locked On LA Kings, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for making Locked On LA Kings your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. I'm Eddie Garcia, your host of Locked On LA Kings. I've worked in sports media for the past 30 years. Also one of the co-hosts of Locked On NHL Game Night, a nightly podcast and YouTube show that recaps the night in the NHL, and a passionate LA Kings fan for over 30 years. Well, the LA Kings are off until Thursday when they will host the Tampa Bay Lightning in the first of 4 straight games at home, 4 important games at home. They've got the Lightning on Thursday, then a weird quirk in the schedule where they play the Minnesota Wild in back-to-back games, not back-to-back nights. They'll play the Wild in their first meeting on Saturday, and then the second game comes on Monday, but both games are in Los Angeles, and then a battle against the Pacific Division rival Sharks on Wednesday in what is right now a clash of the 2 wildcard teams in the Western Conference. So again, 4 very important home games coming up for the LA Kings. All of them are fairly difficult games as well. Not every game against the best, but Tampa Bay is amongst the best teams in their division, veteran team. Obviously, they knocked off the Kings recently down in Tampa in a close one. Actually, the Kings won that game. Excuse me. The Kings actually won that game down in Tampa in a close one. Then you've got Minnesota, who's playing very, very well. They've certainly upgraded since the trade for Quinn Hughes and have been one of the better teams in the NHL since that trade. So back-to-back games against one of the top teams in the Central. And then, again, battle against the Sharks, a division rival, both the Kings and Sharks battling for playoff positioning as the 2 wildcard teams as it stands right now. Now, the good news for the LA Kings is that they enter this potentially important stretch of games fully healthy. And that means that number 1 goalie, Darcy Kuemper, has been activated off injured reserve. The Kings have sent Phoenix Copley back down to the Ontario Reign. We'll talk about the Reign coming up a little bit. Kuemper was hurt on December the 15th, got run into in Dallas by Stars forward Mikko Rantanen, suffered some sort of an upper body injury. We suspect it was some sort of a concussion. Missed the next 6 games. Kings went 2-4 over that span. So obviously great news that Darcy Kuemper is ready to go. Great news that the Kings will have their number 1 goalie back. So far this season, he has been very, very solid. A 10-6-6 record, 2.19 goals against average, and a .917 save percentage. I would say he's been better than those stats even indicate. So no excuses for the Kings right now in any way, shape, or form. They are 100% healthy, and they have played well in the last 2 games. A big win over the Ducks, a hard-fought loss to the top team in the league, the Avalanche. They've still been able to hold on to a playoff spot while not playing their best hockey in the month of December for sure. It is time now to get going. We're not quite into the new year. We haven't quite reached the halfway point of the season, but the time is now for the Kings to start getting going. They've played some encouraging hockey of late. They have this new lineup that they're putting together. It seems to be doing well since the trade of Philip Deneau. And now with Darcy Kuemper back in net, that's kind of that final component, hopefully, to really get the Kings going. I mentioned we're getting close to the halfway mark. It'll be game number 39 for the Kings on Thursday against Tampa Bay. So 2 away from the halfway mark of the NHL season. Kings checking in with a 16-13-9 record for 41 points. And I think we can pretty much say unanimously that the first half of the season for the LA Kings, and we're not quite there yet, has been, I think it's fair to say, disappointing. Now, there's probably some other teams around the NHL that would say, well, we'd love to have your disappointment and be pretty much in a playoff spot for the entirety of the season so far. The Kings have been in a playoff spot for the majority of this season, but it is a pretty tenuous hold on a wild card spot at the moment. There are a lot of other teams that are right behind the Kings and ready to move past them if LA goes into any kind of a tailspin here pretty quickly. So while I think, again, we can all as Kings fans very fairly say that this team has been a disappointment. Are they, like I've said, I know with some of the emails that we get complaining about the team, you would think we were one of the worst teams in the league. We're not. But are we underachieving? Are we playing up to our potential? Are we playing as well as a lot of us thought we would? I think it's a pretty solid no on all counts across the board. Now, there are a lot of players we've talked about, Quentin Byfield, Trevor Moore, even Anze Kopitar you can throw in there as well. Players who have not had great first halves of the season. And guys who need to step it up in the second half. And perhaps when you hit that halfway mark, there's a feeling of, okay, it's now time to kick it in for the second half, kind of wipe the slate clean as much as it can for that first half and almost get ready for a rejuvenation for the stretch run, for the most important games of the season in the second half, and hopefully on into the playoffs. So that's what we're kind of looking at this point as to where the Kings are and where we want them to go. As far as any changes that may happen along the way, certainly would be very, very surprised if we don't see some sort of a move from GM Ken Holland. Of course, we have had the Phillip Danault trade, but that didn't do anything to upgrade the roster. And I think it's reasonable to wonder if that didn't possibly have a negative effect on the Kings. Now, granted, you're making, if things were as bad as some seem to think it was, with Phillip Danault being kind of checked out, maybe it is an addition by subtraction. And look, I've liked the way Alex Turcotte has played so far. It's still very questionable, though, to think that in playoff hockey, that Alex Turcotte will be able to do some of the things that Phillip Danault had done in the playoffs. But we'll get to that if we get to that, right? For now, Turcotte, I think, has played really well. I think he's seized this opportunity and is, at the very least, doing as well as Phillip Danault was doing for the LA Kings as that third line center. But we're expecting a move from Ken Holland at some point. And the tough part about it, and we're looking at things as they are now, and things can change. But if you look at the NHL standings, and maybe you haven't paid attention to this, it is unbelievable how many teams look at the standings and say, we still got a shot at this. We still can be a playoff team. There's virtually, I would say, 4 or 5 teams in the 32-team NHL that might be feeling like we don't have a shot at this. But everybody else, I mean, if you haven't noticed, and if you haven't, that's fine, but the Buffalo Sabres have gone on a big winning streak. The Buffalo Sabres, they were one of the worst teams in the league for most of the year. And now they've gone on this big streak. They've thrown themselves right in the middle of a playoff hunt, and suddenly things have turned around there. I don't know. I mean, I've followed them a little bit. I don't know. They did make a GM change, but the winning streak started a little bit before that happened. So that wasn't necessarily the thing that kind of kicked them in the butt to get them going. But you see that as another team around the league, and you think, if we can just get it going like they've gotten it going, we can put ourselves right back in the mix again as well. So the point of all that is, there's a lot of teams out there that are not looking to sell, that are not looking to take things off of their roster. It's a very, very small group at the moment that's looking to do that. So Ken Holland can't get on the phone and call up very many teams and ask them what they're looking for, or if they're looking to move somebody, because there are a lot of teams that aren't willing to do that. As a matter of fact, because of all those teams that still feel like they're in it, they're looking to add as well. So it's not going to be easy. I think Ken Holland definitely has his work cut out for him, but you knew the job was dangerous when you took it. He's still going to have to make some kind of a move to upgrade this roster, specifically, of course, something offensively, something to help the power play, if at all possible. That's the number one concern for the Kings. As far as Jim Hiller, we've said, I think January is a big month for him. I think this homestand is a big group of 4 games for him. But as it appears right now in this moment, I don't even know that his seat is warm right now. He's definitely not on the hot seat right now. I think these last 2 games have, kind of calmed the waters a little bit. But as we've kind of said over this last month or so, it won't take a lot for the waters to start getting choppy again. So we shall see. That's where the Kings are as it stands now. Big 4-game homestand coming up. Excited Darcy Kuemper will be back and looking for the Kings to start making a positive turn right now. The World Junior Championships are going on. It may or may not be something you're paying attention to, but the Kings have a lot of prospects participating in this event, and one of them is doing very, very well. It's a player you may not know much about. One of the big-time players for the Kings who's in this tournament hasn't been heard from pretty much at all, and there's an interesting reason why. We'll talk about that next here on Locked On LA Kings, your team every day. Fridays already feel different during the basketball season, and FanDuel is making them even better. Every Friday night before the games tip off, FanDuel is giving fans a new way to kick off the weekend with NBA Happy Hour. NBA Happy Hour is your official pregame, a limited time window where special offers drop right inside the FanDuel app before the action starts. Fridays from 6 to 7:30 Eastern have become appointment viewing with NBA Happy Hour. Opening the FanDuel app during Happy Hour always brings something new, boosts, bonuses, and surprises. It's easy to check the weekly special tip-off and make your moves before the window closes. The timing is perfect, right before the games, right before the weekend starts. It adds energy to Friday night basketball without overthinking it. So before tip-off, check the FanDuel app and see what's dropping during NBA Happy Hour every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. A little basketball, a little action, and a whole lot of Friday energy. That's NBA Happy Hour, only on FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. All right, the IIHF World Junior Championships are underway in St. Paul, Minnesota. It may be something that you know about. It may be something that you don't know much about at all. Junior hockey is certainly something in Canada and in certain areas in the Northeast, the northern part, and even the Pacific Northwest of the United States, which is a little bit more people are involved in that because they have teams in these local areas. Obviously, we don't have any of these teams in Southern California, but this is a major tournament involving NHL prospects and future NHL prospects to come as well. Now, the LA Kings prospect pool is not viewed at as one of the better ones around the NHL. And I think there's a lot of people who maybe even are down on a lot of the prospects for the Kings, but you may be surprised to know that the Kings have the second most number of drafted players participating in this World Junior Championship. Now, the Nashville Predators and Utah Mammoth have the most. They each have 7 players. And then the Kings and Philadelphia Flyers are tied for second with 6 players. The Kings almost had 7, but their first-round pick from this year, defenseman Henry Brustevich, was a late cut by Team USA. As far as who is there, probably some names you're a bit familiar with. For Team Canada, you've got 2024 first-round Kings draft pick Liam Greentree, a forward, and 2024 second-round pick for the LA Kings goaltender Carter George. They are seen as the Kings' top 2 prospects right now. For Team USA, you've got 2025 7th-round pick forward Brendan McMurrow. For Team Finland, 2025 5th-round pick goalie Petteri Reppinen. For Team Czechia, 2025 2nd-round pick Wojtek Šiar. And for Team Slovakia, 2025 6th-round pick forward Jan Hoven. So let's check on the tournament so far and how these players have fared. We'll go back to the opening day of the tournament, which was Friday, December the 26th. The big game was Canada versus Czechia, and that featured 3 Kings prospects involved in that one. In the end, Canada outscores Czechia for a 7-5 victory. Wojtek Šihar had a big game in this one for Czechia in a losing effort with a goal and 2 assists. He was a +3 as well. Carter George in net for Canada got lit up despite the win. He allowed 5 goals on 33 shots. And Liam Greentree did not have a point. He only played 3 shifts, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Team USA gets a 6-3 win over Germany in their opener of the tournament. Brendan McMurrow for the Kings had an assist and was a +3. 6 shots on goal and was named the player of the game. For Finland, they beat Denmark 6-2. Kings goalie prospect Petteri Rempinen only had to face 10 shots in this game. He made 8 saves in getting the victory. And Slovakia lost to Sweden 3-2. In that one for Slovakia, Kings prospect Jan Hoven, no points. He was +1, did play 19 minutes and 25 seconds. So that was the Kings prospects on day 1 of the tournament. Day 2, Saturday, December 27th, Canada squeaks by Latvia 2-1 in overtime. Carter George did not play in net in this one for Canada, and Liam Greentree had no points. He played 1 shift, 22 seconds in that game. The USA edged Switzerland 2-1. Brendan McMurrow had no points. He played 10 minutes and 48 seconds. Czechia took care of Denmark 7-2. Wojtek Šihar, another nice game with a goal. He played 19 minutes and 2 seconds. He did take an illegal check to the head penalty in this game. He was on the receiving end of that. Fortunately, he was not injured, ended up being okay. And Slovakia knocked off Germany 4-1. Jan Hoven, no points in that one. He did play 18 minutes and 8 seconds. On Sunday, December 28th, you had Finland crushing Latvia 8-0. Petteri Rempinen was in net for Finland, but he did not have to do much work in this one. He only saw 7 shots on goal. Got the shutout victory. By the way, the Latvian goalie on the other side saw 41 shots and stopped 33 of them. So Petteri Rempinen did not have to do much work, to say the least, in that one. But he got the win and the shutout. He'll take it. Monday, December the 29th, we had Czechia getting by Finland 2-1 in overtime. Wojtek Šihar had 2 assists in this one. That gives him 6 points in 3 games of the tournament so far. Petteri Rempinen did take the tough loss in this one for Finland. He allowed 2 goals on 26 shots. The USA outscored Slovakia 6-5. Brendan McMurrow had a goal and an assist in this one. No points for Jan Hoven for Slovakia on the other side. So 2 Kings prospects going head-to-head in that one. And Canada had no trouble with Denmark, winning 9-1. And Carter George in net allowed 1 goal. He only saw 13 shots in this one. And Liam Greentree did not play in this game as he was a healthy scratch. So looking at the tournament so far, your leading goal scorer, or your leading scorer, I should say, point producer, is Gavin McKenna, who you may have heard of for Team Canada. He's expected to be the number 1 overall pick in next year's draft. He's got 7 points in 3 games, but right behind him, Kings prospect Wojtek Šihar for Czechia, 6 points, 2 goals, and 4 assists. So he is second right now, tied for second in the World Junior Championships in scoring. So great tournament so far for Kings prospect Wojtek Šihar. That's great. Brendan McMurrow for the U.S. Kings prospect has looked very good so far with a goal and 2 assists. Liam Greentree and Jan Hoven are both still looking for their first points of the tournament. We'll talk about Greentree more in a second. USA and Sweden both have 9 points. They are tied for first in Group A. Canada leads Group B with 8 points. Quarterfinals will be Friday, January 2nd. Semifinals are January 4th. And then you've got the bronze and gold medal games on Monday, January the 5th, 2026, if you want to keep track of that going forward. So Liam Greentree, the Kings' probably number 1 prospect, certainly their number 1 skating prospect as it stands right now, is not getting much playing time to speak of. And he really isn't having an opportunity to produce. I've got to imagine this is very disappointing for him. I am not watching these games closely enough, or, am that familiar with what's going on. Look, Canada has a very talented squad. Year in and year out, they're amongst the best in the world every year, and they've won this tournament probably more times than anyone else, I'm sure. So yes, there is a stacked lineup there for Canada, and there's going to be somebody disappointed, right? Or a few players disappointed that they're on the team, but they've got so much talent that they're just not getting a chance to show what they can do. I have to assume that's the case for Liam Greentree. It's hard for me to imagine he's not a player that could fit in with whatever they're looking for. He's a big, heavy, two-way guy. He can hit, he can score, not afraid to go to the net. So it's a little bit surprising to me that his skills have not kind of translated into getting on the ice much in this tournament, but it's out of his hands, right? This is nothing that he necessarily can do. It's a coaching decision, and right now, unfortunately, Liam Greentree is just not getting much playing time. We'll see if maybe something changes going forward, but while Liam Greentree has been a disappointment, not through what he's done, he's just not getting an opportunity. But on the flip side, Wojtek Šihar, great tournament for Czechia, and one of the best players so far in the tournament, which is pretty good for him. Coming up next, we will have a rain report, tell you about the last 3 games for the Kings AHL affiliate. We'll do that next here on Locked On LA Kings, your team every day. Hey, thank you for making Locked On LA Kings your first listen of the day, and thank you for making Locked On your #1 sports podcast network. You already live your team every day. Now take it up to the next level and go ad-free. Join the Everydayer Club and get Locked On LA Kings with no interruptions, members-only Discord access, and more, all for just $5 a month or $50 a year. Check the link in the show notes to learn more. All right, we have our rain report, and I want to thank our friend Don in the San Fernando Valley for providing us with this information. If you've watched this show for a while, over the past few seasons, I've tried my best to keep tabs on what's going on with the Kings AHL affiliate in Ontario, but most of the time it's just from reading stories, looking at the box scores, and kind of giving you some information in that regard. I don't have time to watch these games, but our friend Don does, and he has been gracious enough to provide us with a little more detail watching these games and kind of give us a better feel for what's going on with the Ontario Reign. So we're going to start with the last 3 games for the Reign. It was interesting that they were all against the same team, as Ontario played 3 straight games against the San Jose Barracuda. We're going to start on Saturday, December the 20th. Sharks played at Barracuda played at Ontario. And Don says Andre Lee explodes, but the Reign only salvage a point in a 4-3 shootout loss. Reign outshot San Jose 31-21, including 6-0 in overtime, but ended up losing in the shootout. Andre Lee, though, had 2 goals and 3 points and is showing increasing offensive boldness to go with his solid checking and growing physical game. Martin Chromiak's opening goal for Ontario came off a rebound of an Andre Lee shot, triggering a shower of teddy bears. We had the teddy bear toss. The stuffed animals all being thrown on the ice. If you don't know what that's about, it is quite the spectacle. I've never seen it in person, but I have seen it online. Every minor league team does this around Christmas time, the teddy bear toss, where after the first goal, everybody throws a teddy bear or a stuffed animal on the ice, and it is quite the spectacle. Continuing, Andre Lee's first goal was a shorthander from in close, set up by Glenn Gaudin's goal mouth pass. Lee's second goal was the one that gave the Reign a point. Another Corey Perry type score in the last minute of regulation off a rebound from a scramble in front. After Lee quickly came to the net from the sideboards, he won a battle for possession. Goalie Isaiah Seville seemed fairly solid, and none of the goals he let in looked like bad ones. Reign and Barracuda are battling out for second place in the Western Division and seem pretty evenly matched. They would match up again Sunday, December the 21st, again in Ontario. Couple of bright spots in a decisive loss to San Jose. 6-3 was the final. Unfortunately, Andre Lee, the team's leading scorer, got himself thrown out of the game about 3 minutes in when he left the bench during a teammate's fight. That's a no-no. The game marked the AHL debut of goalie Matthias Scholl for the Reign, 25-year-old native of Hermosa Beach. Scholl made some good stops, didn't look bad, but the San Jose puck movement was very good, and they scored several tic-tac-toe goals that the Reign defense was not able to prevent. Defensively, the Reign struggled as much as I've seen them struggle in almost any game this season against the precise passing of San Jose. Cohen Zemer had perhaps his best pro game yet. He had a goal and an assist, was a +2. Hopefully his game is waking up after a slow start as a rookie pro. Zemer now has 8 points and is a +5 in 19 games. Jared Wright also had a very good game with a goal and an assist. He was a +1. He has 11 points in 27 games and is a team-leading +14 on the season. Kirill Kirsanov had probably the worst play of his AHL career. He coughed up the puck near the net, allowing his opponents to go right in and score. Kenny Connors was a -2. He has been struggling a bit lately. No points in his last 4 games, although he's still a +13. Andre Lee leads the team with 11 goals and 23 points. Glenn Godden is second, 21 points, and Martin Kromiak third with 20 points. And December the 27th, this time in San Jose, the Reign get a 3-0 victory. The two teams checked each other tightly for most of the first period, with San Jose having a slight territorial advantage. Late in the first, Kenny Connors carried the puck behind the San Jose goal and then suddenly turned and threw it at the net. It bounced off some sticks for a split second. Then Atu Yemsen grabbed it and put it in for an unassisted goal. Second period was tight as well, with San Jose outshooting the Reign 13-7, but neither team scored. Goalie Isaiah Seville made some tough saves and is looking more confident and solid as the game went on. Final minutes of the third, Andre Lee scored a beautiful goal with Glenn Godden stealing the San Jose clearing attempt from the net, passing it to Lee in front, who neatly pulled the puck around a sprawling goalie and scored on the backhand. Andre Lee is leading the Reign in scoring with 12 goals and 24 points in 28 games. Glenn Godden is second in scoring with 22 points. Lee now playing on the top line with Godden and Kromiak. Kenny Connors win his 5th straight game without a point, but was also a +2. Connors is now a +15, tied with Jared Wright for the team plus-minus lead, and defenseman Jakub Dvorak is third at +10. Dvorak had his first AHL fight in the second period. He acquitted himself well, standing up for teammate Kenta Isogai after a nasty hit. San Jose seemed to crank up the energy late in the third, but goalie Isaiah Seville cranked up his play as well, stopped all 32 shots in the end for the shutout, well deserving the game's #1 star honors. With about a half minute left, Jared Wright muscled the puck away along the center boards, sent a pass to Nikita Alexandrov for the final empty netter. And the Reign get the 3-0 victory. Francesco Pinelli, couple injury updates. Francesco Pinelli did not dress in that latest game. He's injured and will most likely not return until after January 1st. And goalie Eric Portillo still listed as injured and not yet scheduled for a return. The Reign did play Tuesday night as we record this against the Henderson Silver Knights. They pick up a 3-2 shootout win. And then the final game of 2025 for the Reign will be Wednesday night at home against San Jose again. And we will await Don's report on those 2 games and more. And we greatly appreciate Don in the San Fernando Valley for his Ontario Reign reports and getting us update on what's going on with the Kings AHL affiliate. Sounds like Andre Lee is having quite a year. And we'll see. Corey Perry is a unrestricted free agent after this year. He'll be 41 years old. So maybe that will open up a spot for Andre Lee to come back to the LA Kings and get on that 4th line and be a young up-and-coming player for them. Sounds like he's having a real nice year in Ontario. All right, for you everydayers, those of you listen and watch Locked On LA Kings every day, I am taking New Year's Eve off. So basically no show Thursday morning. Our next show will be Thursday night following the Kings Lightning game. Then we'll have our fan feedback show the following show. And then over the weekend, we will have a show wrapping up the Kings Wild game from Saturday night. So we've got those 3 shows coming up. Basically Friday, Saturday, or basically Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We will have those shows coming up for you. So 3 shows coming up, but I am going to take off New Year's Eve. And while we're talking about that, obviously I want to wish all of you a very happy and safe, festive, happy New Year to all of you guys. If you want to react to any of the shows we had this week or anything we've talked about this week or anything that's going on with the LA Kings, want to get in on the feedback show for the end of the week, email address lockedoneddie@gmail.com, EDDIE. Always welcome your comments if you're watching on YouTube in the comments section. Stay interactive with the show on social media, X, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We're at Locked On LA Kings. Thanks for tuning in today to Locked On LA Kings. Make sure you subscribe and follow so you get the latest episodes. And did Locked On LA Kings make your Spotify Wrapped? Prove it on social media to secure a free month of our brand new Everydayers Club. Just tag our national Locked On Podcast Network account on any social platform. We'll drop you a code. Be one of the first to join the Everydayers Club and get your favorite show ad-free and exclusive access to the members-only Discord channel. I'm Eddie Garcia. Thank you for listening and watching Locked On LA Kings, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Have a great rest of your day. We'll talk to you next time. And as always, go Kings, go.